Good morning, everyone. I hope and pray that you have a blessed day. And so today I've noticed in my garden there's a few things that need attention as far as pruning in regards to the herbs. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do today. That's kind of why I'm here. So in other words, I noticed that the cilantro needed to be pruned, and some of the mint can be pruned, and also the chives. So since that is the case, I will be pruning them, and then I will create things such as pesto and mint cubes with what I harvest. So these are all the beautiful bee balm. I love these things. So here's my cilantro. It's a sea of cilantro. Some of them are going to try to bolt, so I'm a tad bit behind with it, but I feel confident. And I'll kind of show you what I'm going to do. What you do is you come in here and you get the lowest you can to the ground, and you see here, let me see if I can show you. In between this main stalk is a little bud there, and that will grow. If I cut off, one moment. If I cut off the main stem, that and this are going to create two branches. So I'm going to go along and I will do that to the bench of this, and I will show you what it will look like after. And it's going to look a lot smaller, and it may look a little worrisome, but I promise it will grow back. And then over here is the sea of mint, and I'm going to go along cutting that so I can make two different things from that. And then I'm going to come over here and trim some chives. I'm going to be cutting them and freezing them. So let me do that and I will be back. Okay, so I'm finished pruning, and now as you can see I have a pile of cilantro, a bunch of mint, and chives. And let me stand back just a little bit. Guys, this is what it's all about. I find no greater pleasure beside being a child of Christ than to grow vegetables, herbs, fruit, whatever it is, and then to do this, to be able to harvest it, know when it needs to be harvested, and then make a plan from there. So basically, I was in the garden last night, and I was doing some weeding in the carrots, and long story short, I took a tour, as I always do, because I tour the garden almost every single day to see what is the greatest of need. And I had seen that the cilantro was starting to look like it's going to bolt, which means it goes to seed. And I want to try not to get it to do that. I did my best. This is the first year that I'm actually doing that. Cilantro is notoriously hard to keep not going to seed, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so let me pause this and let me just take a full spin around so you can see what's going on here. And I'm going to go to the kitchen now. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I did when I got into the kitchen is cleaned everything, and then I started with the chives. I chopped them up into more manageable pieces, and I put parchment paper down on a cookie sheet, and there's actually two on top of one another here. And I am going to freeze it, and then 24 to 48 hours later, I will take them out of the deep freezer and store them in a Ziploc bag so I could use them in soups and stews and mashed potatoes or what have you. You can also put them in an ice cube tray and then add water and freeze it that way. In my experience with what I do here in this kitchen, I like this method better than the ice cubes for the purpose, because I'd be able to use it with things that don't have water in it. Sometimes, like when you're going to throw some on top of, mashed potatoes, you don't want it in a cube. So, okay, so that's the first thing, and I'll be right back. So I'm not sure if you could actually see the water. But what I did here is, this is the mint, and I basically took all of the mint leaves off. Some have a couple little smaller branches, and then I packed them into these. This is a muffin tin of the large muffins that you would have. Yeah. So I packed them in and then added water. They will go in the deep freezer. And for this, I will use what I call my mint puck, as in a hockey puck. I will put them in with my lemonade. So I make mint lemonade, which is amazing. And I will do this several times during the season. And, these probably will be used in a couple of weeks because I drink a lot of lemonade with mint. I use stevia, not sugar, in my lemonade. And so I drink a lot of it. It's very refreshing. I'll also be making some for the ladies when they come to visit the homestead, the Homespun Sisters, next month, which I am very excited about. And again, I will do it several times and then just put one of those in my lemonade. There's also a lot to be said in October or November. If you would like a fresh drink, I could just make mint tea. I could, again, make more lemonade. But it freezes in the water, in other words, it stays fresh. So you still have that fresh taste, and you can even have that in the winter. Okay, so let me move on to the next thing. Be right back. Okay, so what I did is I chopped up the cilantro. I am making cilantro pesto. So in here is cilantro, garlic, Parmesan, walnuts, hazelnuts, salt and pepper. I used a very good gourmet vinegar and olive oil, and the vinegar is lemon. Yeah, it is actually white balsamic vinegar, Sicilian lemon. So I'm going to zip this up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have successfully zipped up the pesto, and I also have some right there. That is the vinegar, by the way. I highly recommend this company. When I'm in New Hampshire, I grab as much as I can when I'm there. I have it in various different flavors. The taste is amazing, and it comes in all sorts of at least 50 different flavors, as well as I have orange, vanilla, and raspberry. The list goes on and on. So anyways, so here is the pesto. And again, I put it into muffin tin trays, and it will go into the deep freezer. Now, you probably are wondering what I will use that for. One of these sections, okay, one of them, will be enough to make a pound of pasta. I will mix that in with pasta and veggies to make a lighter type pasta. And again, one of those is just jam-packed with flavor because of all of the garlic, the Parmesan, the nuts, and the vinegar, the cilantro. It's just an amazing flavor. It really is. And so I took some of the chives and That is the remainder of the pesto that was I kind of scraped out of the container after pulverizing it. And I am going to be making compound butter later. So, and that's going to be a separate video in itself. So we'll stay tuned with that. And okay, so that's that for today. Now, realistically, from the time that I harvested the herbs and to do all of these things, these three things, um, the chopped up chives that are going in the freezer, the cilantro pesto, and the mint cubes. It took me just over an hour. So there you go. All right. I hope that you have a blessed day and stay well.